mission are reckless. Abort this mission now.
When we saw war movies in 2024, we were taken into previously unheard stories, historic conflicts, and deeply personal journeys. These films redefined the genre with their breathtaking cinematography and engrossing storytelling. The results demonstrated the effects that conflict has on both individuals and society. Today, we are going to discuss 10 war movies that were released in 2024 that you won't want to miss. Number 10. Land of Bad.
Blackbird, can you stay in the area?
Yeah, get him! Go forward!
At the beginning of Land of Bad, you are immediately thrust into the pandemonium of a high-stakes military mission that has gone awry. After joining a Delta Force team lead by the no-nonsense Master Sergeant John Sugar Sweet, who is portrayed by Milo Ventimiglia, the story follows a rookie JTAC officer named Sergeant J.J. Kenny, who is played by Liam Hemsworth. The story takes place against the backdrop of the Philippines, which is known for its rough terrain. Their objective was to remove a valuable intelligence asset from a terrorist stronghold with the highest possible value. However, when everything goes wrong, Kenny locates himself in a position where he is trapped deep within enemy territory. Captain Eddie Reaper Grimm, a battle-hardened drone pilot who is directing him from a distance, is the only person who can help him survive. Russell Crowe plays the role of Captain Eddie Grimm. The film Land of Bad, which was directed by William Eubank, features tremendous battle, suspense that is on the edge of your seat, and non-stop action. This one is definitely worth checking out if you are a fan of fictional military thrillers. Number 9. The Last Front.
You were my respite.
Listen to me for once!
A Belgian epic period action movie, The Last Front was written and directed by Julien Hayet-Cui. The film was produced in Belgium. Leonard Lambert, a widowed farmer living in a small Belgian village, is the protagonist of this film, which takes place during World War I and is portrayed by Ian Glenn. It is a well-known fact that the invasion of Belgium by the German army is infamously known as the Rape of Belgium. In order to preserve his village, Leonard is compelled to spearhead a resistance movement. As a result of the villagers' foolish idea that there are rules to battle, they are quickly confronted with a harsh reality. They had to decide whether they will fight back or run away in order to save their lives. A harsh look at the struggles that people had to go through is provided by the script, despite the fact that it has several flaws and does not delve deeply into the history of each individual character. The intensity is consistently high throughout, which makes The Last Front an experience that is riveting from the very beginning to the very end. Number 8. Before Dawn.
Gas!
3, 2...
Before Dawn is another example of a war drama that is difficult to do well, particularly on a tight budget. This Australian First World War film, which was directed by Jordan Prince Wright, remains both literally and figuratively close to the trenches. It depicts the hardships of young troops through close-up, limited images. Jim Collins, a good-hearted young guy from an Australian sheep farm who enlists to fight on the Western Front, is at the center of it. Jim experiences the harsh realities of battle with his fellow Anzacs, including dirty trenches, the constant fear of death, and fleeting moments of companionship. Although the low-budget endeavor is worthy of some praise, it is not always successful, particularly in sequences that aim to replicate the scope of traditional war epics. Nevertheless, there are some noteworthy scenes, especially when it comes to highlighting the ties that soldiers share under such depressing conditions. Number 7. Civil War.
Thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this.
Alex Garland's Civil War transports us to a near-future America where internal strife has torn the country apart. The narrative centers on veteran photojournalist Lee, Kirsten Dunst, and her co-worker Joel Wagner Morat. In an attempt to speak with the president before rebel forces seize control of the Capitol, they travel together from New York to Washington, D.C. They are joined by seasoned reporter Sammy, portrayed by Stephen McKinley Henderson, and Jesse, a budding photojournalist played by Kaylee Spaney. The crew faces the chaos of civil war head-on as they travel through a nation torn apart by authoritarian authority and secessionist movements. The movie doesn't mince words. The brutality of urban warfare is captured in its violent battle scenes. In a thrilling high-stakes finale, the team embeds with rebel forces along the route and watches the attack on the White House. In addition to showcasing the carnage, Garland's direction delves deeply into the toll it takes on those who record it, making us consider the human cost of war. Number 6. Gladiator 2.
That a slave could take revenge against an emperor.
Tears on the mausoleum floor. Blood stains the Colosseum doors.
Set 16 years after the events of the first Gladiator film, the sequel is directed by Ridley Scott. Lucius, a Roman prince who is exiled and lives in Numidia, living under the name Hanno, is the protagonist of this story, which is portrayed by Paul Mescal. As a result of the invasion by General Marcus Acacius, who is portrayed by Pedro Pascal, his life is turned upside down. He is enslaved and his wife is murdered. After being thrust into the harsh environment of the Colosseum, where gladiators compete, Lucius battles for his own survival and for vengeance. Additionally, Gadda and Cacalla, two corrupt twin emperors, are in charge of Rome at the time. Together with his mother, Lucilla, and Acas, Lucius joins forces with the intention of bringing down the tyrants and bringing justice back to Rome as he climbs to prominence in the arena. It's a compelling tale of vengeance, survival, and redemption all blended together. Number 5. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
England will be condemned to a lifetime under the German boot. Good.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is a film that is directed by Guy Ritchie and features a captivating combination of comedy, action, and war. The story takes place during World War II and follows a group of tough-as-nails misfits who are tasked with carrying out secret operations behind enemy lines. The tale is loosely based on actual British special operations, and it amps up the action with Ritchie's signature flair, which includes fierce gunfights, edgy banter, and a lot of swagger. The ensemble, led by Henry Cavill, dives into chaotic Nazi takedowns with a sense of dark humor, which gives the film the impression of being a gritty yet exciting action romp. This movie is absolutely worth watching if you are interested in stylized action and don't mind taking some artistic license with history. Although it is not a film that is strictly based on historical events, it is still a good choice. There are a lot of huge personalities, high-stakes missions, and explosive action in this movie, making it ideal for anyone who enjoys seeing a war movie that is purposefully entertaining. Number 4. The 6888.
They think the only thing we good for is deliver some damn mail. Now is where you show the proof. This is our mission.
War drama. Directed by Tyler Perry, The 6888 is an uplifting and thought-provoking film. The astonishing factual story of the only all-black and all-female battalion that served during World War II is told in this remarkable book. During some of the most difficult periods, these ladies were tasked with the massive responsibility of sorting through and distributing a 3-year backlog of mail to soldiers serving overseas. This effort offered hope and connection to those who were going through difficult circumstances. These extraordinary ladies sorted over 17 million pieces of mail, ensuring that soldiers and their families remained linked to one another, despite the fact that they were subjected to bigotry, misogyny, and harsh working circumstances. Oprah Winfrey, Susan Sarandon, Dean Norris, and Sam Waterston are among the other notable actors that appear in the film alongside Kerry Washington, who plays the role of Major Charity Adams. Number 3. Masters of the Air.
Guard and guide the men who fly through the great spaces of the sky.
Sit here and take it. We're gonna stick with our mission as long as we can fly.
Although it is not a full-length motion picture, Masters of the Air is a limited miniseries that comes highly recommended. This drama about World War II is composed of 9 episodes and can be accessed through Apple TV+. Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks serve as executive producers on the show. During the course of their dangerous bombing flights over Nazi Germany, the 100th Bomb Group serve as the primary focus of the story. Powerful performances are delivered by the ensemble cast in this epic production, which is led by Callum Turner and Austin Butler. Aerial combat is a high-stakes arena, and viewers adore the show because of its visual excellence, great acting, and immersive portrayal of the realm of competitive aerial combat. In addition, Masters of the Air has received accolades for its realistic portrayal of the physical and psychological toll that the airmen endured, as well as for its magnificent computer-generated imagery that brings the dogfights to life. Number 2, One Life.
We cannot save them all. You have to forgive yourself that.
Is there anyone in the audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton?
Anthony Hopkins and Johnny Flynn will play Nicholas Winton, the British humanitarian who rescued 669 Jewish children from Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia prior to World War II. One Life is a biographical drama that will be directed by James Haw and released in 2023. Between Winton's courageous efforts in 1938 and his musings decades later, plagued by those he was unable to save, the narrative bounces back and forth between the two. By combining the heroic deeds of Winton during the war with the emotional weight of his memories, the movie manages to depict the stress that comes with smuggling children through area controlled by the Nazis. It all culminates in a profound moment on a British television show, when Winton comes to the realization that the people who watch his show are the very people whose lives he has saved. Number 1, Blitz.
Whose children have been evacuated, and for my boy, George.
Blitz is a strong drama that takes place during World War II and was directed by Steve McQueen. In the midst of the Nazi bombings that took place in London, the narrative follows George, a little kid who is relocated to the countryside in order to find shelter. With a strong will and a lack of fear, George manages to get away from the evacuation train and make his way back to his mother, Rita. His trek through a city that has been completely destroyed is fraught with peril, while Rita is confronted with the terrible reality of war by working in a munitions factory and contributing to shelters as a volunteer. McQueen shows the harsh reality of London during the war, from the looting to the challenges that marginalized communities had to go through with their lives.